Santa.
No witnesses?
So this will probably be the closest thing you get to a Christmas themed video out of me this year, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So Konami recently released this brand new box and filled it with a ton of new archetypes and support, such as Dinomist, Mechlord, and Abyss Actor, and we are going to ignore all of that and focus on a meme card, which, surprisingly, isn't actually a meme. This card is literally a kaiju, only it grew a beard, and got itself a fancy red hat. And I know the perfect place for this dude. So here's the deck list. Now before I get into the deck list, just a reminder that if you are enjoying any of the content you are watching or find any of it useful, to please show your support in the video and for the creator by dropping a like on the video down below and subscribing to the channel whilst you're down there. I make a ton of content every week covering various lists, guides, updates, memes, a lot of memes, and I occasionally run live stream tournaments that anyone can join. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Alright, so this is basically a very stock standard Yosenju deck, but it obviously has had a bit of a twist, thanks to the release of Santa Claus. This card's effect reads, you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field in defense position by attributing one monster they control. If summoned this way, once during the end phase of this turn, you can draw one card. Now keep in mind it is your opponent that will draw the card, not the person who summoned this monster. So why exactly is this card so goddamn good and worthy of its own video? Well, to put it simply, tribute removal is the strongest form of removal in the game. Your opponent could have a 2 million attack, untargetable, indestructible Cocytus, which was somehow immune to being banished, and somehow had a once per turn Omni Negate attached to it, and this card could simply out it. When you tribute a monster, there is no opportunity given for that monster to respond. You don't have to target it, it isn't destroyed, nor is it banished. It is simply sent to the grave without a second thought. Now this kind of removal isn't anything new to Duel Links. Obviously we have cards like Lava Golem and Volcanic Queen, which do the same thing. But the major difference here is Santa Claus does not use your normal summon, nor does it limit your summons in any way at all. So this card is basically just removal, with the only downside being your opponent gets a draw during the end phase. Unless this card somehow returned to your hand. And that is why we are playing Yosenju, the archetype known to be able to return your opponent's stuff to hand, including Santa, which when returned to hand will return to your hand, not your opponent's. This means your opponent will not get the draw during the end phase, and keep in mind there is no restriction on how many times you can actually summon Santa, so after returning to hand, if your opponent still has a problematic monster on board, you can simply just summon him again. As for the rest of the deck, like I said, it's your stock standard Yosenju stuff, so I won't go through that in this video. Alright guys, that'll be it for the decklist portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay with commentary showcasing Santa in action. Remember, if you are enjoying the video or find any of the content useful, to please drop a like on the video down below and subscribe to the channel whilst you're down there. Enjoy the gameplay. Alright, let's get into it. So obviously when I do my decklist videos, normally I give you guys a win-loss or a win rate that happened with the deck, but for this case, I don't think it really matters too much as it's just a Yosenju deck. Yosenju is already proven to be a good deck, so this deck was going to be good regardless of what I did. Basically that's why I played the deck. It's arguably stronger now that it's got Santa in it anyway. So the win rate with it, I don't know, I didn't record it, but I did go from Legend 1 to Legend 4 with the deck, so it is proven to be a strong deck, and it's definitely a good proof of concept sticking Santa in this list. I don't know if these are the best ratios for Yosenju, it honestly doesn't really matter. I just want to prove that Santa Claus is really fucking good in this deck, or in this archetype. Alright, let's get into it. Yeah, this card is extremely satisfying to play. If your opponent has any kind of quick play monster on their board, you don't know how satisfying it is to distribute it before it gets any of its use off. They could spend their whole turn summoning this big boss monster, and it's just removed instantly. Like it was never there. This is one of the most satisfying meme cards they've ever released, and it's not even a meme. This is a really good example of it actually. So this guy was playing Super Heavy Samurai. So first of all, he summons a Super Heavy Samurai Flutist, which obviously protects cards in the when it's in the graveyard, protects cards from targeting effects. Then uses Trumpeter, goes into Musashi, and does the standard Super Heavy Samurai combo that ends on when he gets to it. A Stealth Ninja. Now, Stealth Ninja, when destroyed during the end phase, will return back to the board. So this card is a non-targetable thanks to a Flutist Engrave, and it's not indestructible, but if you destroy it, obviously it will come back again, so it's a bit annoying. And how do you get around that? Just top deck Santa. Tribute it, put it down. That card ain't coming back. And then we just do normal Yosenju stuff, add it back to hand so he doesn't get the draw. And because we are playing Yosenju, we don't care about his Giga Gloves either. We can swing in, and these cards just come back to hand anyway, so if you want to reduce their attack, go right ahead. Gets those Soul Horns, Special Summons a level 2, makes it level 6, gives it a double attack, which is potentially lethal, but yeah, it's not going to be in this case because we have Oyam in hand. He even was nice enough to give us a Destiny draw as well. What a nice guy. Tributed again with Santa, ignoring the targeting effects or Protection Engrave, and he's just dead on board. So that is already a very good example of how this deck can work. Alright, next replay. Alright, so I think the next two replays were more for fun and not really showing off Santa. I think one of them was just a really good replay versus Harpy. And I think this one was a Blue Eyes player, I think. But don't worry, there are going to be more really good examples of Santa later on. These are mode from this one, actually. Alright, passing the turn, because we have Kiteroid Oyam, we don't give two shits. All he does is summon a Blue Eyes, swing in, and give us Destiny Draw. What a very nice guy. Tenki, we're adding Izna. We're tributing his monster, summoning our two cards, and adding the card back to hand. In this case, it didn't really matter if we tributed the Blue Eyes. There's like a Deep Eyes card or something that he could have had in hand that summons when a Blue Eyes is destroyed, but it's very rare anyway, so it didn't really matter we had this in this case. I'm just showing it off anyway. Swinging in and returning to hand during the end phase. Cards of Consonance, it's Ultimate Dragons. And this guy now has 3 Blue Eyes in hand, or he's about to have 3 Blue Eyes. Meaning he can summon the big boy. Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. But we have Oyam, so ignored. And what's stronger? A big 3-headed dragon. Or this thing. And it's gone. Karma Cut, removing our monster. But again, doesn't matter. For some reason, he let us activate it too without just Karma Cutting our monster. Because I don't think I even used Izna or anything. He just let our monster stay on board. He technically could have survived a turn too, because we couldn't actually beat over this thing with our 1900 attack monster. So we would have had to attack directly, and he would have lived from that. Alright, game 3. This was just a really good Harpy replay, so I don't think this actually even used Santa. I just wanted to show this one just because it was a really, really good replay. It's one of those rare games in Duel Links that was actually close. So our opponent obviously opening Channeler, as every Harpy player does, of course. I swear this card is glued to their starting hand. Cyber Slash Harpy. Feather's Rest, drawing 2 cards. You've seen all this before, I don't need to explain it. The same standard bullshit. Alright, Tenki, gonna be searching for Izna. Generally you want to search Izna most of the time turn 1 to get in your hand, to either use it to prevent your opponent activating effects, because when you discard Izna from hand, it stops your opponent responding to your normal summons, meaning you can normal summon all 3 of your Yosenjus, then activate Kama's effect without him being able to stop you summoning Kama in the first place, basically. So then we can activate Kama's effect. He activates Book of Moon, activates Slash as well, returning 1 to hand and turning 1 face down. But thankfully, because we used Izna, we got to use Kama's effect, and we got to remove the Slash. Of course, he'll be summoning another one on the very following turn. And like the nice guy he is, I'm pretty sure he decided, I guess he was just greedy for lethal. He decided to add my Kama to 1. Oh, Kama to 1. He decided to add my Kama 1 to hand. Rather nice guy. Considering he's about to swing straight into a Kiteroid. Doesn't give me Destiny Draw though. So gonna be summoning 3 monsters again. He instantly activates Book of Moon to turn my guy face down and return mine to hand. And this is what it would have been last turn if we didn't activate Izna. See, we didn't get to use Kama's effect, so we didn't get to send the Cyber Slash back to the extra deck before we turned it face down. But we now have a Sword Sting, which won't matter because I kind of forgot Harpy's Hunting Ground was on board. Shouldn't have even played this card, it was just going to die. Swallow's Nest, going to be returning my monster back to hand. Once again attempting lethal, but Kiteroid's still in the grave, so... MST. Summoning all 3 of our Yosenjus once again, praying to God this time he doesn't have a spell, and he still has one. But we are determined to grind this guy out. And this time he left us with 2 face-up Yosenjus on board, both level 4. Meaning we can summon the anti-Harpy card, Heraldry Patriarch. The card that obliterates any deck that has the same name for each of their cards, which in this case, these cards are all named Harpy Lady. And he concedes after that. Alright. That's it at the intermission. Back to the back to the Santa Claus gameplay. Alright. Forget what this guy was playing. Oh yes, this guy was playing Satella Knight. So I included this replay purely because everyone should know what Satella Knight runs as back row, and it was very apparent that this guy had some of them set. So Satella Knight has a negate trap, but that negate trap will only work if there's a Satella Knight on board. So in a normal situation, you would try to summon your Yosenju, activate, summon another card, and he just negate it. And you just have just lost your turn completely. But in this case, we just Santa Claus it. Meaning any counter trap he has that was the Satella Knight counter trap can't be used now. So we can just summon our Yosenjus in peace. Although I say that, but apparently this guy had a Fiendish Chain? Did I discard the Izna? Oh, I think I discarded an Izna. Oh, I did, never mind. So I discarded the Izna, meaning you can special summon, or normal summon all 3 of my monsters without him responding with a Fiendish Chain first. Although he did let me return Santa to hand without activating the card, which is kind of nice of him. Leaving it 200 life points. Once again, summons another Satella Knight, and we don't want him to use his counter traps, so Santa Claus is going to be tributing that card real quick. And he was done. So that's just a very good example of another matchup where Santa Claus is just the nuts. Alright, this was a Blue Eyes player, I believe. Doing another very good showing of Santa. There's so many just like great matchups for Sander. It's great into Harpy, it's great into Gaia, it's great into Blue Eyes, as you'll see in a sec. It's great into Tellarknight. It's great into just so many different things. Anything that has like a quick play or requires a monster on board, it's sick into. It's great into Lunalight. Alright. It's a very basic turn, we're just going to be searching. I don't want to summon any monsters because I don't want him to activate his back row, which will be probably a counter trap or something, and send a stone and just summon a Blue Eyes. I don't care about any of that, we're just going to let him do his thing. Especially considering he does this. He summons a Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Now this card can obviously, when it's targeted with an effect, or just whenever it likes, can just tribute itself out and swap it for another card from the extra deck. Very annoying, because if I summoned my Kama 1, tried to return it to hand, he'd just swap it out, so he's wasting our time. But in this case, well, we'll get Destiny Draw first to get rid of the back row. But we just tribute it with Santa. Gets 0 time to respond, 0 chances to. He could have done it during my draw phase if he liked, but in this case, he just left it there, so when I summon Santa, it just goes. No chance to respond. And from here, I reckon I have lethal on board, and I can return it back to hand. Alright, that'll do it for today's replays. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.